Please subscribe the channel for daily exclusive Reddit content, and don't forget to like and comment. Today's story, my husband is getting bored of me. Husband and I have been together a long time, over 10 years at this point. We married 5 years ago. We have no children, but have brought up trying to conceive in the next few years. We both work and are financially stable. Recently my husband has been voicing stuff that really worries me. We'll be sitting on the couch after work or on weekends. I'll be watching Netflix or on Facebook or something, and he'll be doing one of his projects. He'll ask me stuff like, what happened to all those books you used to read? You used to get so excited about reading. Or what happened to the novel you wanted to write? I'll explain to him that I don't really have the attention span for reading anymore, and that the novel writing thing was an early 20s dream and goals change. Yesterday he said, in response to this, I miss us having conversations about our interests and goals. He claims I've been like this before all the pandemic doldrums, which is true. I probably shifted my interests like 2 years ago. My husband has always had hobbies that he pours his time into. Me, not so much. We've never had the same hobbies, ever, but I guess he really used to like me talking about Chaucer and Steinbeck and stuff. Prior to the pandemic we did go on dates together, and we had fun with those. I feel like he doesn't understand that people do change over time and the interests I had 10 years ago aren't going to be the same ones I have now. It seems like he's getting bored of me. What can we do about this? TLDR, my husband misses the hobbies I used to have when I was younger. I've moved on. He misses connecting with you in conversations where you are excited or passionate. Start reading a book together out loud. Learn a language together, or get a new joint hobby. Start going on dates again. Try to be creative. Cause pandemic and all, every relationship needs effort to keep going. It's okay that your interests are changing, but have you developed new interests? If yes, talk about it with him. Do you have any hobbies or goals? Perhaps he's concerned that you spend your free time watching Netflix and surfing social media, and that's not the healthiest use of your time. My husband and I have mostly different hobbies, but, as your husband is hinting towards, we talk to each other about the other one's hobbies and ask questions to show interest, even if it's not a hobby we'd be particularly interested in partaking ourselves. You said your interests have shifted, but I think that is inaccurate. It seems like you've lost interest/passion in your previous hobbies and not really replaced them. The comment about attention span also indicates Marie's a loss of interest/passion. I wouldn't count talking to friends or watching TV as passion/hobbies. So where had that passion and energy that went into your previous hobbies gone? If not into new ones? Because that is what he may be trying to say. He misses that side of you. Now, not everyone needs or wants hobbies they are passionate about, but maybe he does and wants a partner who is the same. Reading through this, I wonder if a fundamental incompatibility is starting to form. For me at least, I want a partner who is as curious and constantly self-improving as I am. It could be that was a huge reason he was attracted to you. If that changes, a lot of the attraction could be lost. Assuming his concern isn't something else like your happiness, you should dig into this with him. You say you don't see your role as someone to inspire him, but if that's what he looks for in a partner, that's the incompatibility. As we get older, we often get comfortable and no longer feel the need to woo or impress. Are you both putting an effort to keep the marriage fresh and to be impressive and attractive to each other? I went through a similar time around your age. I finally had the job and the house and all that stuff, so I just settled in. My husband had hobby after hobby, and I just did whatever he was doing or spent time relaxing. I was perfectly fine, but I was not interesting. And more than that, I was relying on my husband to make my life interesting. We went where he wanted and saw what he was interested in. I was just along for the ride. I doubt your husband is bored of you. He just wants you to be excited about something. Something personal to you. Something you do just because it makes you happy. You won't find this by asking what he wants to do. I encourage you to start thinking selfishly. Forget his plans and interests. Say I want to go apple picking, or I think it'd be cool to learn to dance, or I'd like to try knitting. Whatever it is, try it and own it. Could it be that he's meaning to be motivational, but going about it the wrong way? I get why you might take these comments to heart, but his intentions could be well intentioned. It probably is partially pandemic doldrums, a phrase I will be stealing. If my so said this, I wouldn't immediately interpret that as them missing my hobbies. The more likely reason is he misses you having hobbies, having drive or inspiration, and just generally being excited or passionate about something. Especially since he outright said that he misses talking about interests. It is nice to hear other people be enthusiastic about stuff, regardless of topic. Have you been asking him about his hobbies at all lately? Especially now. There's a lot less to talk about because we're spending all our time with our partners. We know what they're doing, so there's no need to recount the day. A hobby that he doesn't share with you is an option for conversation. He might feel like the burden is all on him to find new things to discuss. What do you normally chat about now? The best thing you could do is talk to him. Does he actually miss you reading? Or does he just miss having new material to discuss? And miss seeing your eyes light up when you're talking about something enjoyable? Talk to him what you are passionate about now, and if that answer is nothing, then you may want to address that problem first. Hey dude, reading through the comments it seems like you don't really wanna change. But if you want a lifetime marriage, it's time to pick up a book. Choose a day out the week for hobby day where both of you can do a hobby and be alone together. Read, listen to music, do a puzzle. My BF and I are gonna make vision boards today. Just magazines and glue to visualize our goals and where we wanna be in life. It's lame but fun. You don't have to take what he is saying personally. Just cut out a few hours of TV. Don't peruse his hobbies. He wants you to be passionate about your hobbies. He wants to see your face light up when you talk to him. He wants to hear the excitement in your voice. He wants to see you alive. Sounds to me like you're getting complacent and not putting the effort in, and he's trying to make you aware of that. Take this with a pinch of salt though. I have no idea what the dynamics are in reality. I feel like you are rather defensive in this sub. You basically say that you don't want to impress anyone and that you used to have hobbies but don't anymore. Your hobby is now Netflix. I actually don't think that is a negative thing. There is however a difference between creating and consuming. It sounds like you used to be creative and even when reading, develop opinions and dialogue. Now you just seem content with not doing any of that. It seems like your husband would be even happy if you critiqued the media you watched, but you don't seem to have that in you. I, myself, am guilty of using TV as a way to escape, but that does not create good conversation. I don't really have a passion for it, and while it kind of fills a void, it doesn't ignite a passion. When I read a book I digest the information and create the scene, and I notice a major difference when talking about the two. Creating is just different than consuming. It sounds like you used to want to create, and now you just consume. I'm not sure I can really help you out of your rut, but it is something to consider. So you sound super boring, and are uninterested in being less boring. More dangerously, you don't care that you've lost connection with your husband and find him bringing up that lost connection to be annoying. Good luck with that. Hey, I read some of your comments and I think you need to consider therapy and or medication. It's not normal to be completely bland about life at 29. Low attention span and lack of interest in things are symptoms of depression. Your husband hasn't lost interest in you. He's worried you're losing interest in having conversations with him. He wants to reconnect. The fact he is communicating with you is a really good sign. He sounds great. Changing hobbies and interests is not a problem on its own, but I'm going to be honest. My husband is a very creative person, and if he switched from those hobbies to hobbies that are very passive, watching things and being entertained by something else instead of creating, I'd also think something weird was going on. It's such a big change from active to passive. And if that also includes having less and less to talk about, not showing any more of the old interests / ambitions or dreams, losing enthusiasm about stuff he used to absolutely love, I would possibly think he was slowly getting depressed. Now I know that's not the case with you, but I think you should talk about this more with him. In his eyes he fell in love with someone very passionate, and you've turned into someone way more relaxed and easygoing about entertainment and life goals, and there's no explanation for it. He's just worried. I didn't see anything in your post that indicates he's bored of you. Have you tried asking him what he misses about your hobbies? Maybe he found them inspiring or interesting. It doesn't have to be your role to inspire or interest him, but it's worth knowing what he meant. I think he did find it inspiring that I was so into my hobbies and very ambitious in the past. I'm not really that way anymore, and I agree that it's not my role to inspire him. I don't know what to do if that's what he's expecting of me. Sounds like your interests haven't changed to something new. You mentioned switching from active things to passive. Netflix. Basically, you've left passion for something behind. Passion is an attractive quality in people. From your other comments it sounds like you're content being where you are, but that may not be enough for your husband. All relationships take work. Are you willing to put in the effort to find something that makes you passionate? It sounds like instead of processing the rejection about your writing, you put it into a box and threw it into the ocean and decided you never wanted to see or hear of it again. It's one thing if you never had interests or passions, but you did, and you gave them up and cut people out of your life to avoid even thinking about this rejection. What would you do if one of your old writer friends from the groups reached out to you, asked you to collaborate on something? When/if you have children, are you going to be able to read them books, or will you have to stick to TV instead? I have tons of hobbies and passions. Writing is one of them. I'm also scared of rejection, but my boyfriend always asks if I'm writing, and if I ever stopped completely I would want him to do what your husband is doing, encouraging you to start again. Your husband isn't bored of you. He's watched the passion drain from your eyes. It's probably very sad. You surrounded yourself with yes women who you are able to connect with on a surface level, who don't challenge you or your intellect. Something you used to have, and still do inside. I know you think you're happy, and unless you really want to change, I don't know if it's possible. But it would break my heart if I had to watch my partner leave his passions behind. I had to fight so hard to find someone who actually gave a rest about my interests and encouraged me with my writing, and you have that, and are annoyed with the fact that he wants bigger things for you. This post made me incredibly sad, to be honest. I actually broke up with my last boyfriend over this. Yeah, it was nice, but it felt like I was his biggest hobby/interest, and it was a lot of pressure. Admittedly, I have a ref ton of hobbies and interests, and I didn't expect him to match that, but he didn't really even have one, and that just annoyed me for some reason. Sometimes I get lazy and just watch TV, but even then it aligns to my interests. I discuss the documentary/area with my friends, and I feel like it's more meaningful than discussing, say, fictional television. Even in saying that, though there's an exception to every rule, I watch fictional TV with my friends who love film, and we discuss the production in depth. Just because you get older doesn't mean you stop growing. If you drift around without purpose, it's terribly unattractive and unhealthy. You're only 29. Plenty of time to have 5 more lives if you want. You never know until you try something new what you'll like. But do it for you, because you'll grow and become better for it. There's huge joy in watching yourself slowly get better at something, whatever it may be. Well, what did you expect? If my wife spent all her time passively consuming media, then I'd get bored with her, too. That's not normal to not be excited or passionate about anything anymore at such a young age. If you aren't the person he fell in love with anymore, and you are happy the way you are now, then you just shouldn't be together. People change and grow apart, and that's what happened.